All right, welcome back to the 80 Star Basketball Channel. So I've got a lot of info to cover here today. So I basically want to do a couple of housekeeping items, and then I'm going to be talking about lots of cards. So and prices, and what's sold, what's upcoming, what's available, and I'm trying to again. Yes, I am definitely trying to cover. The Jordan hype has been, it's very real, and I'm going to cover, basically what's happening there, or cover the 101 and Jordan quite a bit. But I do want to branch out and get to the other Hall of Famers and everything that's star. So that is the point of the channel. But definitely, the train keeps rolling for everything. So it's interesting times and fun times for sure. So I want to look. So first thing, I want to give a real quick shout out to a Sports Card Madness. They put out even another video this morning. I just did the follow up, or did the video for the follow up with their interview on the 84 Star versus 86 Fleer on the 101. Interview. They had a sports card dad, Dustin. Love Dustin. And they put out a video even this morning for undervalued areas of the hobby. So check it out. I like the content they're putting out. They're kind of do things to look for and business ideas, and they also do breaking news kind of stuff. So I just like the stuff that they're putting out, and they're taking a look at Star, and so does like JD Sports Cards. Check out JD. He's starting to put out some stuff and mentioning Star kind of consistently. He's been doing it for a while, but now kind of with a little more frequency. But just a couple of shout outs there. But check out their video today for undervalued areas of the hobby. One of them's, well, I won't spoil it for them. It's actually really unique stuff, so go check it out. But so also then I want to give a quick shout out to Vintage Collector 5340. He comments on quite a few of my videos, and he's kind of throwing these out there. I'm not a baseball collector, so this is the stuff that he is actually talking about, and it has to do with Star. So I'm going to throw it out there, and he and I disagree sometimes. I see that for sure, but he definitely has a good eye on some stuff that he's looking out for, like photos, and kind of mentioning those constantly. And since he, kind of consistently is commenting on the vids, I'm definitely going to give him a shout out here, and good to see. So there you go, man. There's some people looking at your favorite one, the purple. He also mentioned a whole bunch. I just don't have time to go through them, but take a look at what he's saying in the comments, and then you can go from there. So the other thing that I do want to talk about this channel, the strength of this channel. Star is growing. This channel is getting stronger. Don't look at the amount of subs. My viewership per episode now exceeds, I am over 100% viewership than my subscribers. This, I will never have a lot of subscribers. This is a very focused thing. A lot of people don't hit the subscribe button, even though I want you to right now if you haven't, just because I want to hit that 300 because that's my fun for the day. I do want to see that grow, but at the be all end all, I want the viewers now. And now I think the audience is just it's so awesome to see that this is getting strong daily. I don't care if I have 2,000 subs, but 10 viewers. I don't care. This is definitely growing. I'm now probably about 300 to 400% consistently more in just 6 months of viewership, and that is awesome to see. Star is getting, it's kind of partially what we're seeing. Everything's kind of growing, and you're kind of continually coming back here. So thanks, guys. I just want to, every single one of you, I talked to a lot of you, DMs, all that stuff. By the way, if I don't get back to you, or I try to as soon as I can. Sometimes I'm short with my messages. Time is just simply my factor. I do care when you reach out, and I know there's a lot of valuation questions. For the valuation questions, watch these auction actions, because I'm trying to, get my overarching, points in here in terms of what to look for. A lot of questions on, hey, do you think this is going to be worth a lot? What's this going to be? And I'm trying to get that here as much as I can, for where I take pulses and everything. So on that note, part of what this channel is about, and mainly is, I'm kind of, as I've grown and kind of evolving and seeing what's my purpose, is to educate. So, when I'm doing these auctions, again, in a second, I'm going to go over a lot of prices. So, the auction stuff is coming. But realize that I'm going to be doing this, and I'm going to be looking at auctions. I'm going to be looking at things, and I'm going to be picking these cards apart because I want to show you what I'm looking for and things that maybe you should be looking for, or things that, help you when you're getting your cards. The difference with star basketball cards is I'm going to give you a little quick education right now, and I'm going to use my own card to rip on, so you know that I don't care what people say as long as you're giving me correct information or credible information. I don't view it as a negative. I don't go, you go, oh, that corner's right. If your intent is to be just a jerk, then that's one thing. But if you're going, oh, there's actually a little spot over there, or do you see a little print dot right here? And maybe I didn't. And that's what I want to know. Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay, good. I'm glad I know that, because if I'm going to sell it to someone else, or if I'm moving something, I want to be as transparent as possible. And when I get the information, um, then I can pass that along of things that I'm seeing, or I want to know more about something. So don't think that when you're giving me information, it is a negative. A lot of people are like, oh, don't talk that way. We have to talk so gently. So again, I'm going to rip on my own card, but I'm going to do it for educational purposes. So if you look at this 6.5, this is one of my 101s. The first thing you're probably going is, just like I do, is like, oh, wow, that's centered really nice. Well, yeah, it is. But one of the things about it being centered nicely is that this is PSA's viewpoint. PSA and BGS have very different centering aspects. So while PSA and my eyes are gravitate towards this type of centering, like, wow, it looks really nice. At the same time, it's not exactly how BGS looks at these cards. BGS will have and I'm just going to show you right here. BGS, let's look at what they consider 9 centering. These should be more top heavy. This is how Steve Taft and said, kind of nature intended when they produced these. This is actually, BGS has the regular cut. This is better centering, even though this is more 50-50. This is how BGS will look at this card. And, PSA looks at this card. So I can look at my card. So again, I don't mind correct information. My card is off centered by BGS standards. It simply is. And this is what they would consider 9 centering. So I just wanted to highlight that when I'm talking about these cards, the goal is to basically is looking to educate everyone, kind of thing, or point things out. I'm not out to rip on cards. I simply want to do it. And I do this a lot. In my auctions, and I'm doing that to try and help. So let's get over to some auctions. I'm going to start off with sold stuff, and let's actually, before I get to the Goldin, I'm going to look at a whole bunch of things really quick on 130 point all marketplaces. Real quick, let's cover. I've been looking at CK's 26. By the way, the overarching theme right now is that everything is climbing. That is the one thing, except for one thing mainly. And most things are trickling up. I'm seeing the 101 bump and star in general is going, and I got a little confirmation of that the last couple of days as I've been viewing some prices. And I'll show you those in a second with these Hall of Famers right here. The only one that I'm not seeing is Drexler. I don't know why Drexler isn't going up, but last auction I covered Elijah and Barkley, and someone popped up and said, "Hey, what about Stockton and others?" And I'm trying to fit a lot into these auctions, and I won't cover everything on every auction. I want to keep these to about 15 minutes. So when I go through, I'm trying to make things quick. So just an overview again. You can see what's odd is just even in a few days, the CK26, a half a grade lower, went for 300 more. Watch these again. It's kind of the same thing with supply. If you've watched my channel since January, I touted the main cards to get are base set Jordans and the CK26. Those are my top 5. The 117 is the only one that hasn't gone up much, but now it's starting to get a bump too. But really, the others are the ones, the 2 main ones that I talked about have flown. They're up, the 101 and the 288. Those were my 2 main picks, always have been. And those essentially kind of, going up the most. The 101 obviously is king. But I did want to point out this 8.5. I talked about that one last, but for these auctions, checking out if you're looking in this price range, a 6 went for 2,700. But again, these are kind of bumping up kind of fast. If even a 7 is 3,500, there's another 7 I'll show in a minute that's going. But that's the CK26. Let's go look at. I'm going to be all over the place here just for speed. 8.5 for 200. That seems about right for the Magic 83. I just wanted to take a look at these. This one isn't going up too much. The one that I did notice that has had a bump is this Bird. This is an 8.5 without subs that I can see on the front. But 700 for I love this card. I absolutely, one of my favorite star cards is this 83 Bird. Just love the shooting. That is his form. You remember Larry, that is his form. And here's a BGS 9 that went for 1100. And here's an uncut sheet. They did a panel for 400. And real quick, Sports Card Madness. That's one thing they mention on uncut sheets on being sorry to spoiler, but go and look. And I agree with that assessment. I've got to say it here, but they put out the uncut sheets as being something to look at. And as you know, I have one, and I do. I think that the uncut sheets are really, really cool. This is a little different. They took a piece of it, and just those interesting things that I like to see. But that's the 83 Bird. The Drexler, I've been watching prices for a while. I've had a couple come in and out of my hands, and it's about the same. It isn't really going, but I did notice this sale for a 9.5 just happened on PWCC, about a week ago, and we're looking at 2,600 for a Drexler, and that's really, really cool to see. So, but some of the other prices, an 8 for 336, but these have actually stagnated or kind of, I don't want to say fallen. They've just kind of hovered. They haven't really gone far compared to the others. That's definitely one thing I noticed. I don't know why. I don't have a reason. Stockton's definitely got a bump. Elijah Wan's and Barkley. Barkley more of a small bump. The Elijah Wan's are actually, they're both very condition sensitive, but in this 84 set, as people start making the sense, you're like, well, Stockton, he may not be as desirable as a Barkley or an Elijah Wan, or vice versa to you. But the one thing about them is they're all part of the base set. So they're all going to be, set collectors are going to be putting these together with these guys. So not only is there demand for a Stockton rookie card, but there's also a demand for putting together these base sets. Here's a BGS 9 for 950, and here is an 8.5 for about 700. So on the Stocktons, this is about kind of where they've been, but a little bit, maybe a hair bump up. But they're not shooting. Some of the ones that the more traction I'm seeing is a little bit more of the Elijah Wan and the Barkley, with a hair more to the Elijah Wan. That's just what I'm seeing. Correct me if I'm wrong. Anyone add in comments as they see fit. Here's a 9.5 Stockton that went for 3,200. So if you're looking at the highest grade, and this one I would have gotten, and I should have picked this up. It was an 84 star bag. I'm a big bag and or pack, whatever you want to call them, bag or pack. Most people call them bags, but kind of interchangeable. I just absolutely love them. They're to me kind of uniquely star and a factory sealed. They're just kind of like, I don't know, they're just the coolest thing to me. So let's go over to the 101s with a segue, and we'll look at Goldin and stuff. But basically that PSA 8, here it is, that it finally went. It didn't hit 150. My initial thought was that it was going to be 125. I had some people kind of throwing out 150, and I was like, there hasn't been an auction. And it got to 130 like immediately. So I was like, okay, maybe I was wrong, but it looks like my first initial thing was closer to correct. And then I was like, okay, well, it's pretty obvious it might hit 150 because I thought this one was better than the BGS 9. There was a BGS 9 sale for 132,000. So I think that one kept in check. Kevin, I actually agree with that assessment. I think that 9 sale kind of kept this one in check. Plus the fact the bid increments were 10,000. So I really do think that auction played a role and key in here. So when you're going to get your first initial resistance when they come up, so it's going to be interesting to see when the next 8 comes up and what it's going for. So that's the most notable sale for right now. This raw one I did. I took a peek at this last week, but it's definitely nice. It's just got to worry about those surface issues. So pretty strong for a raw card. You got to be a little gutsy to buy it for sure. So that was an interesting sale to note, though. So let's go on over to actually I'll start with Goldin here. So my assistant or my boss, I can't tell which one it is. Kevin, he puts together these great things. I can't. He puts these together and again, I can't tell if he's helping me or if he's actually just like, okay, no, you're my segue for these, and I'm fine. My boss assistant. Thanks for putting these together, Kevin. They're great to use, and I do want to show. So go ahead and let's look at this one really quick. And we just talked about that one. This is the Golden Ending Auctions. So here's an 85 bag for 6,300. This is the full bag set, and I can't remember if it was this one. No, it was the 83 set, which I'll get to in a little bit. Here's just kind of random. It's kind of hard to say for these cards, but the sets of some of them, but it was kind of more of a hodgepodge, so it's kind of hard to talk to that one. But I did want to notice, I know the 10 card sets are really popular because they're low cost Jordans for the subset. The 10 card, highly popular. You can get a Jordan star for cheap. And looks like raw here, and we kind of went into the 4,300 range. I did want to speak to really quick for these Topps reprints and stuff. Some people don't like these. I absolutely love them. I see a couple at shows and whatnot, and I'm like, I'm going to pick these up. I do like them for people, especially people can't pick it up in the range they want. They kind of get like this pseudo real card. It's not a counterfeit reprint of the 101, but it's actually a legit Topps card, and it's kind of cool to have, and especially if you're looking like condition, you get this one perfect. The 96 Topps comes centered, and kind of 100% of the time. So it's definitely something I just kind of like. And let's see, I think he had some other ones that he's showing here, and kind of bump and look in and see if there's anything worth noting. I know they were talking about. This is the good graphic. I think these were the sales for the 101. All right, I'm going to bump just in lieu of time. I'm going to bump on over to Heritage, go over the things I'm tracking. Here's that bag set, an 83 bag set. I think Heritage really, really has these low. They are not in tune with Star at all. By just their descriptions and whatnot, I can tell they really aren't with the Star community or really seeing it. But people post here, so this value estimate 3,000, that isn't even close. 4,500. I would think, and I will say that I think even the Mavericks bag alone could go for that. And we'll see what that ends up as. So this is something I'm really watching, and I might even get involved in. That being said, we got with buyer's premium. This is actually with the buyer's premium. This is actually the current bid is basically at 35,000 right now for the PSA 7. We're watching that. 2,900 for the 195 on the 6. A 288 6 is now at 4,200. And again, this one I really liked is the Interlake, the CK26, and the Jordan. Can't remember the number. Just basically the CB1. That's right. And it is at 1,600. So that's actually a really cool, trifecta. We also have the uncut sheets and some other auctions to look at as far as Heritage. I do want to see, I'm interested in where this PSA 10 86 Fleer will end up. Okay, and running over last but not least, eBay. Let's take a look at this. CK26-7 at 2,500. So it'll be interesting to see if the last one was at 35, where this will end up. Here is a PSA 6 Miller Lite Jordan for 760. Some of the things I'm watching, obviously, just kind of seeing where prices go or where it ends. Here's a 101.6 for 1400 or best offer. I'm keeping an eye on that. Obviously, not the best conditioned one. Here, I was thinking about using this. So I'll see if I go with it. This being the image of the front. I think I will for my video actually image. So that's really, really cool. I got to give a shout out if I do, which is Name Me a King. It says PSA 6, obviously a crazy high price, but one day, actually, I think it'll be there. And it's just what an awesome image, and took the time to Photoshop all. So I want to kind of call that out for putting that together, and just really, really cool. Here's an Altered that just came up. It has the edges. The person put in the description the edges. I don't know why they blacked out the serial number, but so take a look at this one, and it's just definitely something to take a peek at. But shows that the edges are, obviously got some damage too, but just an interesting one that I thought came up. So good seller, good feedback. So it looks like it's not. It looks legit. This I was surprised about. The Court Kings going for 8.5, and here is the bags that ended. And again, the 86 Fleer Jordan PSA 8s all hovering in the 6,000 range. So again, a ton to cover, a lot. So this video is going to go longer than others, but hopefully the info was worth it. And like, subscribe, and I'll see you at the next video.